Hello, loves. Here we go. Okay, I think all the things are working. We are streaming, we are recording, and we are screen sharing the presentation that I'd like to share with you. So for the moment, I'm going to stop sharing. Hop over here. Hello. Hello to everyone who made it. Okay, so let's see. All right, we are getting started. Thank you for your patience with the getting all the gears going. We want to make sure that we are sharing in all the places our Zoom link. The more intimate we can make our environment, the better. So the more people that are in here in the recording space with us, the better off we'll be. If you don't know where you are right now, you are at the Connected Parent Workshop. My name is Andrea Luzon, Legacy Liberator. I stand for parents connecting deeply and creating loving relationships with their children. Especially moms have come to me who have a neurodivergent child. Oftentimes that turns out to be a son with ADHD. That has been my story. That has been my journey, coming into deeper relationship, loving my son for who he is instead of the expectations or the societal norms of the neurotypical or neuronormal, all of these terms that society is expecting my son to be. So that's what I stand for. That's why I'm here. I'm grateful to all of you for being here. The name of our community is the Awake, Free, Expansive Community. At some point, I will be most likely shifting that to be much more parenting focused, less broad, so that the right people are finding this work, so that individuals that are struggling with coming into deeper relationship with their neurodivergent child, so that they can find the Facebook group, so they can find what we're creating here. I'm finding that a lot of parents are connecting with how to stop yelling at your kid. That a lot of the resistance or the struggle that parents are having is just being out of relationship with their kid. So that's what we're here. That's what we're here to create. That's who I'm standing for, is those parents that are wanting to come into deeper relationship with their child. So thank you all for being here. So you're here, you made it to the Connected Parent Workshop. And this is really about how to connect with your wild-hearted child. And we're over here streaming on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. And we're here going into the Facebook community called the Awake, Free, Expansive Community. Just so you know where we are recording. And again, I'm Andrea Luzon. So to help us gather here today, I really would like to connect you with being present in this moment, that you're here to live a better life. So thank you for your patience. I'm asking that in these first few moments, begin to notice your breath. Simply pay attention to how your chest and your abdomen are expanding and contracting. And if you have never been saged before, this is your lucky moment. This is the time where we get to come together and experience a little bit of sage smoke. And imagine that this is, if you haven't been saged before, imagine that this is a scent that is really appealing to you. It's not overpowering at all. And what we're doing is we're simply clearing. I'm taking this light scent and going up and down the front of your body as you're noticing your breath. Do that for our Instagram friends. I'm going to go around my computer, around my camera. I'm going to go around this device here. I'm going to go around my own head. And we're really just opening up ourselves and being fully present. We're clearing anything that's not serving you in this moment, that's not serving me in this moment, in being fully present, all of us together. So again, on your next inhale, I'd like for you to really notice your in-breath. Beautiful. So as we become aware of our breath, oftentimes our breathing, our in-breath becomes longer, and our exhale also becomes longer. So I'd love for you to receive the blessing and the clearing that we just explored together. And I'd love for you to allow these words to sink into your body, into your mind, into your spirit, into your emotions. If you are able, if you're not driving, allow your eyelids to flutter closed for a moment and follow these words. Today, I choose to reconnect with the love, potential, and true vibration inside me. Today, I reclaim my ability and desire to know and express what my parents didn't know and express. And I'm going to know and express all of this to the people I love. So I'm standing in that potential with you today. You get to remember your true vibration, and you get to know that that potential is inside of you to express in that way. Thank you all. Okay, this is a reminder to you to have a notebook handy, to silence your phone or turn off all of the other, all the alerts on your phone, close your other browsers in your computer, and have that notebook and pen handy, and just allow yourself to stay present. So if you need a moment to go get that, go right ahead. So phones in airplane modes, closing the other browsers, grabbing that notebook if you're a note taker like me, and again, making sure that we have that Zoom link in our Facebook community. Trusting my assistant to do that right now. So the reason we're placing the link in a few places is because being together is so important. This workshop today is about connection. And so us being here in community together, that is amplifying your existence. Sure, you could go be a hermit on a mountain and live a happy life. And yet my understanding is that that's not what your soul came to the planet to experience. You didn't come here to live in isolation. You didn't come here to be solely self-sufficient. You came here to have community. You came here to know yourself as a loving being. Yes, inward experiencing, and then also outward reflecting. So you get to be in relationship. You get to feel that and experience that. So that is why we're placing the Zoom link in a few places. So some questions I'd love for you to consider. How do I like to receive support? So ask yourself that question. How do I like to receive support? From my friends, from my loved ones, how do I feel supported by them? How do I like to feel supported by them? Because today we're going to look at what works for children, and we're going to reflect on which of these skills do we wish someone would have used with us when we were younger. What skills that I'm going to teach you today do you wish someone would have used with you when you were younger? Was there someone who used some of these skills? Maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was an aunt or uncle, maybe it was a grandparent, maybe it was your parents, or whoever was that maternal or paternal role in your life. So what do you wish that they might have used? And then which skills that we're going to go over today support you in your adult relationships? Which one of these skills could you implement in your adult relationships? So some of these might be showing you what you desire, and some of these will show you what is in your gap. What is in your gap in your current relationships? So that relationship could be with your child, it could be with your romantic partner, it could be with yourself, and it could be with anyone else who truly matters to you. So who's the training for? Why are we here today? Who's here today? So let's be real. Maybe somebody sent you this link and you're not sure why you're here today. And I don't want to waste your time. So this is for you today if you would like clarity and tools to help you show up better in your relationships. Who wants that? Who wants to show up better in their relationships? This is for you if you're struggling to connect with your neurodivergent child. Perhaps you have someone you love in your life who is on the ADD, ADHD, ODD, or autism spectrum disorder. Could be that there's someone in your life that fits that description. Maybe you're disappointed with how you handle tough situations with people you love. Maybe it's your children. Maybe it's your loved ones, some other loved one. This can also be for you if you're sick of complaining about broken relationships in your life. Do you have any of those? So this workshop is not for people who want to do more and be more, because I know we're taught to do more and be more, and that is what our Western culture feeds off of. So at the same time, let me land that a little bit more deeply. This is for people who want to tune in. You want to tune in with you, and you want to come alive as you. Not about the doing more and the being more, but really tuning into who you really are. And then from that vibration, you get to go out into the world and live and breathe and express. So, you get to come fully online. So this is for people who have heard the knocking on their heart. And that might sound a little woo to some people, but it's like you've heard an intuitive voice and you're ready to finally listen to it. Hopefully it's not because things have gotten so bad, but instead, hopefully it's because you're just getting so wise, or you're maturing on an emotional, in an emotional way, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. You're really growing. So you're ready to listen to that voice. You're not here if you're obsessed with being right, if you're obsessed with looking good, if you're obsessed with playing it safe, avoiding pain, or being in control. Because trust me, I have worn all of those hats. And may you not get to the breaking point. And that's what finally makes you turn around and realize that you get to self-reflect and learn some skills. So if you're here to hang on to those rackets that I just named, this is not the workshop for you. What are you going to learn today? This is the exciting part. You get to learn how to prioritize being a better parent by learning a different way to parent. You're here, you get to deepen your relationship with your child, with yourself, and with your partner. Those specifically. And of course, it's going to exude out from that point. Most importantly, you are going to learn the top 5 connected parent methods to creating a deeply connected, loving relationship with your child. So I'd love to find out who is here. So write where you're watching from in the chat or in our group. I'm going to click on our group again. Make sure that we're streaming correctly. I've got some help with this, and at the same time, okay, great, wonderful. I'm going to make sure to paste everything that we're sharing here in our group. Okay. Thank you all for your patience. Okay. So go ahead and write where you're watching from in the chat. So where are you? Who are you? What do you like to be called? Are you around the globe, or are you here where I am, which is in Kansas City? And this is where I need your help to help more people like yourself. Please tell me, where did you discover this workshop? Did you receive an email from me? Are you on my email subscriber list? And if you're not yet, go to andrealuzon.com and make sure you are signed up for my subscriber list. Did you find the posting for this workshop on LinkedIn? Are you part of the Facebook group, which is the Awake, Free, Expansive community? Did you find this through my personal Facebook page? Maybe you found this workshop through Instagram. What words? Okay, so let me let you write that down. Okay. Outstanding. Okay, so we are writing where we're at and where did we discover the workshop. So go ahead and write that into the chat. Where did you discover the workshop? Was it in an email, LinkedIn, Facebook group? Maybe it was Instagram. And then what words in the description made you click the registration button? What were the words that really prompted you to be here? I'm going to let you, I'm not going to feed words into that one, but what were the words that really landed for you when you saw the description of this workshop? How did it pull you forward? How did it magnetize you in? And again, I'm asking these questions so that I can support more people in your situation. So what was it that drew you? What did you see in the workshop description that really prompted you to be here? And is there anything else you want to have answered today? Are there any burning questions that you have about how to connect with people you love? What are your burning questions? Anything else besides what drew you to the workshop? So please let us know in the chat. Go ahead and paste that in there. Thank you. Thank you so much for helping me call forward more people who need my help, who would like to connect more deeply with their neurodivergent child. That's my situation. And those are the people I want to magnetize in and offer support, guidance, and accountability. So thank you for answering those questions for me. So let's move forward. Who is a parent here? If you are a parent, go ahead and write parent in the chat. Just write the word parent. If you're a non-parent, go ahead and write non-parent in the chat. Because this course is for bold parents and people who are wanting to create deeply connected, loving relationships in their life. Right now, I've been supporting more and more parents that are struggling to connect with their neurodivergent child, meaning children who struggle with ADD, ADHD, ODD, ASD, all of those disorder diagnoses, whereas I like to say neurodivergent instead, because we have the neurotypical, 2 + 2 = 4, A + B = C, more analytical, more Western minded appreciation brains, whereas neurodivergent can be it's more fluid. They get to the answers in a different way. Their ducks are not lined in a row the same way as the neurotypical brain would line up those ducks. So I like to not lean on the categories of the disorders and instead offer to parents that it's a neurodivergence, simple divergence, not that the person is broken or it's really about societal expectation, I find. And then that puts pressure on us as parents to expect our child to behave in a certain way. Okay, so I'm checking our Facebook community just to make sure that we're all systems are go. Okay, got it. So found us on Facebook, struggling with son and school and tech. Got it. I hear you. I hear that loud and clear. Okay, so moving forward. So do you yourself struggle with any of these? Have you noticed or have you been diagnosed with any attention deficit disorder? If you have, go ahead and write self in the chat and maybe write a word or two about your neurodivergence. And again, I want to reiterate that this is a safe space, that you're safe, I'm safe. Everyone in the group here is, when we came in, when we agreed to join this particular Facebook community, it was with an agreement, and we have a rather small community at this point. So thank you for trusting me and for trusting this space. If you are struggling with someone else in your life who is experiencing neurodivergence, write other in the chat and then write a few words about what this person means to you. Who are they? Maybe what they're struggling with. Have they received a label? And I'd love for everyone here to know that I'm in this camp with you. What brought me to this work was parenting my own child who struggles with neurodivergence, specifically ADHD. So I realized after years that it had a lot to do with my own expectations, my own thoughts, my own beliefs, and those were actually exacerbating his symptoms instead of relieving them. So he was feeling more and more like an outsider because the adults in his life were just stuck in an ableist mindset. And I don't know if the term ableism has come your direction or not, but our society really tends to be very fixated on this median behavior range for all humans, and that those of us that are eccentric or divergent in any way, there just seems to be this resistance and judgment and shame on these individuals, and that ends up affecting us as parents because we were often raised with those same expectations. And it's hard not to, it's maybe not hard, but it involves a lot of unlearning that level of expectation. It requires a lot of focus, which can be tough in our Western civilization of like working, paying the bills, doing all the things. And then the universe is expecting you, or society is expecting you to have this neurotypical child, and you get to be the typical parent. And then you're finding that your home life and you're out in public with child life can end up being really challenging, really, really challenging. So I'm here with you. I'm on this roller coaster myself. And so it's something that we get to grow in together, because I'm on this journey too. I'm going to share with you the pieces that have supported my relationship with my son. So, and it has been a journey. So the core of my teaching, it stems from my strong desire to see every human on this planet living from a more awake place. So we're not consumed with those expectations, and that's not bleeding into our relationships. So I want you to be able to live with clarity about what really matters to you. And today in particular is about giving you some skills so that you can really step into that relationship from a very self-aware place, because you have these skills that you're practicing. And we all know the cost of not taking action, because years can go by, children begin slamming doors, they begin hiding, they begin retracting, they don't want to talk to us. And it can really exacerbate to the point where both parent and child are living in a very unhealthy way. I know a lot of us have experienced that, the cost of not taking action and stepping into your power, better skills, better self-awareness, all of that. So how about you? Are you ever having disagreements with your child? Are you ever having disagreements with people you love? And would you like to change it? Would you like to do something different? And so this is where I'm going to make sure I'm sharing, because I'm seeing some yeses. Okay, I'm seeing that we've got some desire to create some shifts. Yes. I'm refreshing my page to see if we have any comments in our Facebook community, which of course takes greater computer bandwidth. So I appreciate your patience. Okay, so we are coming back into our group, and I am going to share. I'm going to share with you. And here we go. Okay, so type yes in the chat if you can see the slide that I'm sharing. It should say online workshop, connected parent, how to connect with your wild-hearted child. So just give me a yes in the chat if you can see what I'm seeing, which is and I even have a little dot that swirls around, so that's kind of fun. So how to connect with your wild-hearted child, what your parents never learned. So we're going to move through this. I'm keeping an eye on the time so that we can really get really into the details of this, so that you can really feel empowered today. And I love how no matter what I do, these little colors always shift. Anyway, okay, so maybe you've heard of the pride skills. And if you have not heard of the pride skills, today is your lucky day. If you have, today is the day we're going to ground them into you more intensely. So this is about building connection everywhere in your life, but this is child focused. Okay, so creating deeply connected, loving relationships. So P is for, so this is an acronym, and I'm going to go through this first very broadly, and then I'm going to dial this in for you. I'm going to dial it in more specifically. Okay, so I appreciate your patience again. All right, so P is for praise. I'm hoping that you're able to see what I'm seeing. So P is for praise. My screen just shut down, so thank you. Okay, so here we go. Move this over here. All right. So you are going to praise appropriate behavior. For example, okay, I'm gonna move this over, hold on. I like how you're sharing your toys with Susie. I know some of us have teenagers, but we're gonna start with the child and then we're gonna expand later. So I'm gonna start with the younger child, and trust me, we will expand on this so that you can use it with everyone. I like how you, I like how you cooked me dinner. I like how you shared the chores today. You really concentrated hard on that project. I'm proud of you. Okay, and I'm going to go in later that this is about process, not about like the person or the thing or the result. It's really about their process. So, okay, you have, here's another one. You have wonderful ideas for creating pictures. You have wonderful ideas for finding solutions. I like the way you're playing gently with your sister. And then I have one here for a partner. Honey, I love how you always make time to be present at the dinner table. That could be anyone in your life, I guess. Teen, child, spouse, all of it. I love how you always make time to be present at the dinner table or even in the moment. I love how you are making time to be present at the dinner table. Okay, so we're starting with praise. So this skill helps increase desired behavior in all your relationships. You're telling the person what you like. Okay, so I'm going to move here. Here we go. So R is for reflect. There we go. So you're going to repeat appropriate talk and sounds. I know this sounds juvenile at the get-go, but we're going to dive into this more deeply. You're going to mirror. So reflect. Think of like mirroring, like reflecting back to someone their words, like affirming their words, affirming that person, reflecting like a mirror. So you're reflecting back to them healthy speech that you want to hear from them. So maybe your little child says, I'm gonna try to sound like a kid for a second. I do a blue flower. Okay, and then let's say you know your kid really well and you know what they said, and you simply repeat back, you drew a blue flower. You drew a blue flower. So you're and you know how sometimes kids use yucky slang? Repeat back what they said, just take out the F-bomb or the negative words, okay? So this is gonna help improve your child's self-esteem. It's gonna help them build the vocabulary that you wanna hear at your house, and it's gonna boost their enthusiasm and help your child calm, focus, and self-soothe. Okay, so this reflect skill is a big one. Okay, I is for imitate. So you're gonna imitate appropriate play. Okay, so give me a moment here. So imitate, you're gonna imitate appropriate play. If your kiddo draws a tree, you draw a tree. And try not to draw it way better than that, but try to cooperate, like be in the play with them. And you even say, I'm gonna draw a tree just like you. We are driving our trains on the track. So even if you didn't do the first part, let's say you're imitating them, and then also you're gonna describe what you're doing. So I'm gonna tap the blocks quietly, just like you. So again, you're in it with them. You have set aside what you're doing so that you can imitate your child. You're gonna play with them. Okay, so this is gonna help your child feel important and show that you approve of them. This practice also improves their desire to imitate your behavior in return. Now, again, if you have older children, or this is for you in your adult life, we will get to that. I promise you, we're gonna get to that. So D is for describe. Describe appropriate behavior. And this is one that we all need practice. I think we all need practice on all of these, but describing. So, for example, parent says, you are making the plane fly up high. You are organizing your craft supplies. And we get to work on not making it sound like a question, like you're organizing your craft supplies? We'll get to what not to do during these skills in a little bit. Okay. You are keeping the Play-Doh on the table. Okay. You are showing me your Pokemon collection. You are sharing your toys with Alan. So describing your kids' actions not only helps them build vocabulary, it empowers them to know that they are the creators of their world. They are empowered creators of their reality. So I want to re-emphasize again, it's not the airplane is flying high. That is not how we're talking to our child. It is you are making the airplane fly up high. So we are often trained to observe what is happening, but we're changing the language here by always starting with you. Like you're going to talk about the child, and they're going to be in the driver's seat of the action that you're observing, the way of being of the child. You're going to put them in the driver's seat as you speak. You are studying. You're studying homework. I see how you're studying right now. Simply just stating what is happening, but it's like you are making sure that they are super empowered as you speak. Okay. So it's not the airplane is flying high, it's you are making the airplane fly high. Okay. So we're moving forward. The fifth piece is energy. And sometimes I struggle with this one because sometimes I'm not in the mood. So sometimes I'm having a bit of struggle myself with keeping up my enthusiasm, my energy. But instead of it being like faking energy, what if instead it's just simply showing genuine interest? And let me tell you a little bit more about that. So, and maybe you're not used to showing genuine interest in these ways, but smile, make eye contact, nod when they're talking, get off your phone, touch their shoulder, maybe put a hand on their back, tussling a child's hair, using a warm voice, laughing together with them, clapping with them. So all of these kind of more physical ways of being are showing that you're interested in them. And again, eye contact and a touch on the back or a touch on the shoulder can be just as impactful as, hugging and squeezing and holding hands and snuggling during a movie or having, snuggling your child. So there can be other more simple ways. So this is creating warmth in the relationship, and it's reinforcing the desired behavior that you want to create. So this is the moment where I would love to share with you that I have a form that you can fill out if you would like to win a drawing to have an energy healing session with me. So it is a 1-hour remote healing session where you're in your home, I'm in my office, I move over my massage table and connect with your frequencies. And I'm clearing out what's not working in your energetic sphere, bringing it to neutral, and catalyzing you in the direction you want to go. So yes, energy healer and parent transformation coach. It's true. And I do love to offer these sessions to my clients. So this is a drawing for you to possibly win a free one of those. So I'm going to put that in our chat. And I'm going to make sure to place that in our group. So thank you for your patience. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you a moment to fill out that form and get the next slides ready. So a couple of things to avoid when you are flexing into this new way of being. You want to avoid asking questions. And this is a hard one for me because I love to ask my kids. I have all these kind of little tricks that I use of like, we play a game called Roses and Thorns. Tell me the 3 roses from your day. Tell me the 3 thorns from your day, or your mountains and valleys, which when I think about it, doesn't make a lot of sense. But like what worked well, what didn't work well, what went well for you, what do you wish had gone differently for you? So again, those are questions, and it's really supportive of when you decide to have these 10 or 15 minutes to focus on these skills with your child, with yourself, with your spouse, whomever. Do your best to not ask questions. And I know that this is tough. Definitely you want to avoid giving commands, like you're not playing with that toy right, or be careful of the dog, So we want to avoid commands, and then we want to avoid criticism and corrections. So we're going to withhold the criticism and the corrections. Okay, so this is where we dive in more deeply. I'm trusting that you can still see the screen share that I'm sharing with you. Pardon me while I sneeze. Okay, all right. So this portion here, hopefully you can still see this. Would love to hear a comment in the chat, or just a yes if you can still see everything. Thank you. Okay, so going back to the top. So praise, remember pride, praise, reflect, imitate, describe, and enthusiasm, energy. Yes, PRIDE. Praise, reflect. Hold on a second. Praise, reflect, imitate, describe, energy. Okay, here are our 5 pride skills. Okay, so diving in more deeply to praise, we are going to focus as parents, as friends, as lovers, as coworkers, as family members. We're going to focus on praising the process, not the person or the result. Okay, so here we go. I would love to have everyone focus on number 1 here. So if we were to praise a person, we might say, "You're so smart." Sounds harmless, right? But what if instead we praised the process? You practiced your math and it paid off. You practiced your math and it paid off. Or like you mowed a lot of you mowed a lot of lawns and it paid off. You mowed a lot of lawns and you saved money to get that jacket that you wanted. I'm just really impressed right now. Like the process. You really focused on earning money and look how you bought gas to go on this trip. So we're focusing on the process, not the person. Okay, number 2, you are a really good soccer player. Okay, that also sounds great. But again, a lot of these, when we reward just the act itself, we create a lot of temporary actions, temporary inspiration for our kid. And then we all oftentimes end up with a kid who's really stuck in people pleasing and really stuck in measuring him or herself or themselves against others. So always looking externally to find the value internally. When we praise process, we teach our children to start within, start inside, and then look to the external world to create. So create here and then create out there. You're a hard worker. You are a hard worker versus you're working hard. You are working hard versus you are a result. You are a thing. You are a symbol. You are a status versus you're working hard. Like you are doing it. You are in action. You are owning your life. You're in the driver's seat of your life. Okay. So you are making the plane fly high versus how we've been trained of, wow, the plane is flying really high. If we take the person completely out of it. But if they're the one manipulating it, if they're the one creating powerfully themselves, we want to use language that puts them in the empowerment position, the empowerment seat. Okay, so our last one on this page, we've got, you're such a good girl. Okay, and instead of you're such a good girl, we're going to really talk about the process that we're observing, that we're appreciating. Thank you for listening the first time. Thank you for listening the first time I asked for your help. So do you hear the difference? So feel free to put any comments in the chat if anything is landing or not landing for you. Is any of this new? Can you hear yourself saying any of these in the way it's not recommended? Because that's important for us to reflect upon. Okay, so here we go. R, so pride, we are on letter R for reflect. You are going to repeat or reflect. Repeating is when you say what the person said verbatim. Reflecting is when you summarize in different words with the same meaning. I'm feeling compelled right now in this moment to speak adult to adult, and I'm going to share this with you. This is something I've really been working on in my life, and I will tell you, it helps you pay attention when people are talking. If you say this, I think I'm hearing you say da 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 da, whatever it is they're saying. I think I'm hearing you say, and then you repeat as well as you can, or you summarize what you're hearing them say. Just checking for clarity, also validating, reflecting back people's words back to them is extremely validating, and it shows them that you're paying attention. And then they have the opportunity to correct you. Like, no, that's actually not what I was saying. What I'm really trying to convey to you is blah, 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 whatever it is that they really wanted to land with you. So we are on R for reflect. You're going to repeat verbatim, or you're going to reflect, which is summarizing in different words with the same meaning. A small child might say, vroom, vroom. And you, as their parent, you are going to repeat the sounds that you heard the kid utter. Vroom, vroom. So that's repeating. So a child might say, I like the green car. Parent says, you like the green car. You're repeating, you're putting them in the driver's seat of the language, and you're acknowledging them, you're validating them. And if they misspoke any words, you can also support the language that you want to hear in your home or hear with the child. To embellish on this, I would like to go into this a little bit more. When your child says something you do not like, this is tough for a lot of us. When your child says something you do not like, your car is stupid. I hate this. You are going to ignore undesirable language. You're going to ignore undesirable language as the parent. Perhaps your child says, my car needs gas. And you can reflect back to them or paraphrase, uh-oh, your car is out of gas. Okay? So you're reflecting, you're summarizing. But a child might say, I'm tired. And you simply repeat back to them, you're tired. Okay? So that was reflect. Moving on to imitate. Imitating is about mimicking, and it is about letting your child lead. It might be tough by the time your kids are teenagers, but this is something that time you can carve out where you can give them options, let them lead, and you're going to reinforce behaviors that you like. So here we go with a small child. Parent says, I'm going to tap the blocks quietly, just like you. So you're down there, you're on the floor, and you're letting your child lead. No correcting, no questioning, no giving commands. You are observing what the child is doing, and you're imitating them by repeating their actions that you want more of. So in this instance, if the child was banging really loudly, that's maybe not the moment to start imitating the child. When the child lowers their volume with the tapping, you might say, I'm going to tap the blocks quietly, just like you. You're reinforcing the quietness, the low volume that you would like in your home. The parent could say, we are driving our trains on the track. So you're playing with your child, they start driving a little train car around on the track, and you grab a train car and you put it on the track and you follow the child's car and you repeat back to them, we are driving our trains on the track. Okay, so all of the skills are pretty much used in that one. A teenager says to you, your teenager says, I'm done with homework. I'm going to pack up and clean up my stuff. Okay, you repeat back, you know what? I'm going to go put my stuff in my bag and clean up as well. So you have let your teenager, you let your older child, your adult child, someone you respect, lead the play, lead your time together. So imitation is the highest form of flattery, and it bonds you together. Now, as I say that out loud, I'm thinking, okay, we get to make sure that this isn't coming across in a mocking way, or because we're so unpracticed, we get to make sure there's no sarcasm or there's no frustration coming from us. Like, we get to be clear before we engage in this activity. Let's be clear about that. So moving on, so we're on pride language, letter D for describe. This is about narrating. Imagine you're a sportscaster and you're doing a play-by-play, calling the shots. You're calling out the actions that are happening on the field. I'm never usually really excited about that when my husband is wanting to hear everything the sportscasters are saying when there's a game on TV. I'm like, you can see, you can see it, and there's all the graphics all over the TV screen. To me, it just doesn't feel as supportive to hear the sportscasters. So you know what a sportscaster sounds like. This is where you get to really flex into how you want to narrate your child's activities. So this is going to improve your child's vocabulary, and it's going to support them in being more mindful. Because you are narrating their play, they're going to start choosing their play more carefully. Okay, so the parent says, you say, you are making the plane fly up high. Okay, so you are documenting in words what the child is doing. You are making the plane fly up high. Okay, so you're empowering the child with your language. You are touching Susie gently with your hands. You're touching Susie gently with your hands. Parent can say, wow, that was a hard word problem, but you solved it, right? Parent can say, you knew the square root. So we are describing what the child is doing. I'm hearing definitely the energy here, the praise. I'm hearing we're describing and praising, and there's enthusiasm and energy and attentiveness from the parent. So there's multiple skills happening in those last two statements. The describe option, the describe action in building connection is going to help your child slow down and focus on their actions. So we're growing the mindfulness muscle. We're growing that tool in the child. So our last piece from the pride skills, the letter E, energy. Show interest and affection. Focus on your child and use inflection in your voice. So E is for energy, enthusiasm, enjoy. Parent, I have so much fun being with you. Parent, I'm proud to be your mom. Smiles, eye contact, an arm around your child, holding hands, tussling hair, warm voice, laughing together, clapping. All of these things are energy, enthusiasm. They show that you're enjoying time with your child, with your partner, with your coworker. Eye contact, get off your phone, looking at them, touching a shoulder, touch a hand on a back, things like that. Okay, so energy is about strengthening your bond. This is about creating warmth. You're also modeling positive emotions. So you're showing your child how you can show up in positivity, with energy, with power, and power that is positive, power that is excitement about life, having a healthy outlook. So this has been our deep dive into these skills. And I'd love to hear any questions or anything that is bubbling up to the surface that maybe some of this feels out of alignment, or maybe you're having an aha moment with some of these skills or this breakdown of how you can shift. I feel as though some of this stuff seems very obvious. And yet, I feel as though if we were to check the internal dialogue we have with ourselves against the pride skills, how well are you using these? Are you praising? Are you reflecting? Are you imitating? Are you describing? Do you have energy, enthusiasm, and enjoyment in the ticker tape thoughts of your mind? That is a big question that I have for all of us. And especially in the Western world with this work harder, push harder, do more kind of energy, then it's like, what kind of language are we using when we talk to ourselves inside of our own mind? That is my question for all of us, just a journaling question to reflect on. If you write out what each of these mean, do you use them with yourself? That's going to make it a lot harder to bring it out into the world if your inner dialogue is less positive, less negative, or less positive, more critical. So it's going to be tougher to take it out into the world, but it takes practice. It really does take practice. And maybe even looking at them before you're going to be with your kid, or or here's my biggest question is, like, who would like some more support putting these skills into action? That's my biggest question. If you're feeling like you would like support in creating change in your life, I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you and really talk about what are your options? How is it going right now? What is in the gap? What is the, I don't want to say fantasy, but what would be the level 10 in regards to the relationships in your life? What does level 10 look like? Like, what are you wanting to rediscover in your relationships with a neurodivergent child, with a loved one, with yourself? So to get underneath that, it's really important to see what you want and then measure it against where you're at right now. And that's going to show the growth potential. Here's level 10, here's where I am right now. Maybe I'm a 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8. And yet there's this gap. There's this gap. I know that there's more. I want to go deeper. I want to love better. I want to be loved better. And how am I showing up in that way? How do I get to show up that way? What else do I get to learn? What do I get to embrace? What is in my gap? So if you'd like more support with that, go ahead and click that button and you get to sign up for that. And that is only for those individuals who are present here today, because that's the gain that I want everyone to have, is to know that you have support, to know that there are people out there like me who have the guidance, and then you get to call yourself forward in regards to accountability. And for a lot of us, that is the crux of it. Like we can begin to experience what's called infobesity, where we come to workshops like this, we soak in all of this knowledge, and then no one is boots on the ground with us, helping us put it into action in our life. So that is really the piece that I feel is missing when a lot of people come and offer these sort of workshops. Is you get all of this information, but then where's the accountability piece? Where is the hand holding? How do we actually go out there and put it into action in our life? So I'm offering that to you today, to get some hand holding and really call yourself forward and book that spot on my calendar right now. Starting on November 2nd, I have a group that is beginning, and this is a Parents Healing Circle. I've got parents that are coming in. A lot of them do have a child that is been diagnosed with a neurodivergence, and these parents are looking for support, guidance, and accountability. And I have found that for me, in the group environment, witnessing a cohort have their breakthrough, have their life change, it unlocks something in me, and I begin to grow and I begin to shift. So we're going to start November 2nd. We're going to wrap up before the holidays, before the end of December holidays. It's 8 weeks. We'll be starting on time on November 2nd. And if you would like that, I'll have to get you that link. We'll put that in the Facebook group, but I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that on the Wisdom Chat, but it will be an 8-week group course. So unless anyone else has any questions, I just want you to know that I've really appreciated your time, and any way that you can help me support more parents that are wanting to come into deeper relationship, I'm forever grateful. The world is grateful. Think of someone that you know, and please share my work and let them know that there are people out there that are on the journey of stepping into deeper connection with their child. I know for me, it was a long road. And so I want to share my shortcuts with you. I want to share the healing journey, the pieces that really opened up my heart and allowed more to be possible. I want to share that with each of you. So thank you for your time. I am 1 minute over, so I'm going to wrap right here and right now. I'm impressed with the 60-minute time. I usually love to go 90 minutes to an hour, or 90 minutes to 2 hours is usually my window. So if this seemed really short, then reach out to me and book that Wisdom Chat. So thank you all so much. Have a beautiful rest of your week.